Welcome back to Baby Takes. We took a break last week to the Super Bowl, and we just want to push out quality content to you guys. And we felt like a break would definitely help um, push out good content. So we're back, though. We're back. We're going to keep trying to do weekly stuff up until the season starts, and then we're definitely doing weekly stuff. So we're super excited about that. But off-season time is kind of slowing down. Signing days have already happened. Um, Transfer portal is pretty much over. Arizona State's quarterback just entered the transfer portal today, but it's pretty much all the way over. At least maybe for Nebraska it is. So today we're going to be ranking the scheduled teams from easiest to best based purely on roster against roster. We're not taking into account. Well, I guess we'll take account into like home games and away games. We'll take that into account, but we're not taking into account like who we played last week or like who they play the next week or stuff like that. Like obviously injuries aren't going to be taken into account because we have no idea what's going to happen. We don't wish injury on anybody, but yeah, we'll see. But before we start, Zach, how are you doing?
Pretty good. So I wanted to say the game I am most excited for. Obviously, Oklahoma's huge, Michigan's huge. Iowa always want a base year, but right now, just right now, biggest game for me is the upcoming spring game. Uh,
Yeah.
Excited to see Casey Thompson, Joe Purdy. I know there's a couple guys that aren't gonna play in the spring game. The running back, JUCO
Anthony
running back.
Grant.
He's not going to play. I don't think. I think he's
Yeah.
not coming up till the summer or fall. So sadly, we won't get to see him. But those guys, we get to see the freshmen. We get to see guys coming back like Yant and Reimer and Prochaska coming back from his injury. I am super excited to see all those guys play. And Mark Whipple's offense come into play, and Rayola's line come out, and the receivers with Mickey Joseph. And even I'm sure Mickey Joseph's helping out with QBs. I mean, he's got to be. Dude was a QB.
Right.
So, yeah, and the defense, I'm excited to see that. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see that spring game. But, yeah, I'm ready to hop into this.
Yeah, super excited for spring game. We'll definitely do some spring game content when that comes closer, and it's gonna start. It's gonna come up pretty quick. I'm excited to see the quarterback battle with Casey Thompson, Chuba Purdy, Logan Smothers is gonna play for sure. Richard Torres, Henrik Harburg. Maybe we get a glimpse in that game. Maybe like some transfer possibilities after the spring game. But super excited for the spring game, especially with all the new faces, as you said. So to start it off, we're going to go from easiest to hardest. So to start it off, I think this one is a pretty easy one. I have North Dakota as my easiest game of the year, just because they're an FCS team, and
Mm-hmm.
they had a losing record in FCS last year. They went 5-6, so not really super worried about them at all. Not much to say. Uh, I just think it's pretty self-explanatory. That should be the easiest game of the year.
Yeah, I got to agree there. The only thing I disagree with is where we place this game in the schedule.
Mhm.
I'd like to see us play North Dakota and head over to Ireland, maybe. I don't know. We saw it last year. A week zero game kind of caught us off guard. This year, I don't know if Northwestern is a week zero game. Guessing,
I know it's one of the first college football games of the year, so it
I'm
probably is a week zero game.
yeah. And then with that, and you're flying to Ireland, you don't know where you are. New stadium. I'd love to see us. I mean, nothing against North Dakota. I mean, if there's any North Dakota fans listening, I'm sorry, but I'd love to go in there and we get a beat down North Dakota, a good 35, 40, 50 point win, and then head over to Ireland and then play Northwestern. But is what it is. I feel like our new coaching staff and our guys are going to figure it out and get it done. But yeah, I mean, North Dakota, yeah, probably one of the easier games for sure. Probably the easiest game for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Dublin game in a little bit. But my next one is Georgia Southern. I think it's another, pretty self-explanatory one. They're one of the worst teams in one of the worst conferences in the Sun Belt. One of the things I might be a little worried about, they got USC's old coach that just got fired this year when Lincoln Riley took his job. And so that, that's something. I don't expect it to change anything this year, at least. Maybe in the future he gets, bigger recruits than they're used to, but it's a Sun Belt team. It's a Sun Belt team that's not very good in the Sun Belt. So I'm not extremely worried about Nebraska's chances in this game.
Yeah, me either. They got the USC coach. That'll bring in a lot. I'm sure they got some good recruits with him, but Georgia Southern is still Georgia Southern. Again, not a stab at any Georgia Southern fans or not a stab at Georgia Southern himself, but you're still Georgia Southern, so you gotta take that. Yeah, and then again, you gotta come to Memorial, and next year Memorial is gonna be livid. So I can't wait for that. And yeah, North Dakota, Georgia Southern back to back, and we get in one of the biggest games of the year with Oklahoma. So yeah, I think Georgia Southern are really another game that we put in there to build that confidence up in a team that could go very far this year, I think.
Yeah. So my next game, it's an interesting one because this team actually beat us last year, but there was a lot of teams that beat us last year. So Illinois is my next easiest game. The biggest thing for me is it's a home game. As you said, Nebraska Memorial, it's going to be loud. It's going to be heavy. We fared so much better in home games last year. One of the first home games we have was Northwestern, and we beat them 55-7 or something like that. We're a more talented team, and I think with the new team and new assistants, I think we're finally ready to beat the teams that we should beat. You know what I mean? We always lose to these teams that, on paper we should beat. So I think we're finally ready to take that step into beating teams that we should beat and keeping it close with teams maybe that are better than us. But I think I'm not going to give out too many predictions because we're definitely going to have a schedule prediction coming up in the future. But we are definitely a better team than this Illinois team.
Yeah. So, I think that's a good pick. I think we're definitely a much better football team than Illinois, especially with our add-ins this year and on the coaching staff, on the roster, wherever you have it. But I'm actually going to go with a different team. And that's Indiana. Indiana 0-9 conference last year, 2-10 overall. Nothing really going for them, really. It's not like they signed any big transfers and pick up any huge coaches. So yeah, I think that's probably our third easiest game. I think that's a team that was terrible last year and didn't get a whole lot better, and we're a team that was good last year and got a whole lot better. And so yeah, I think we're just miles ahead of that team, and I think that's for sure our third easiest, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, that's fair. With Indiana, I don't know. They got Missouri's QB in the transfer portal, which we don't know what he's going to be.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, he came out of the SEC, but
right.
You got to take that with a grain of salt because he's coming out of Missouri as well.
Yeah, that's true. We had similar records. Tom Allen, I think, is a good coach. We'll have to see with this year. The COVID year, he was, top 15 in the nation. Last year, 2-10. So, who knows what they really are? I have them ranked a little bit higher, but we'll get to that later. My next game is the one we talked about, the Northwestern game in Dublin. Northwestern has a weird thing. And I actually saw this on Corn Crazed, his YouTube channel. He's doing some good things over there, but they're good every other year. you know, 2019, they go 3-9. 2020, or hold on, I got this mixed up.
No, you
2019,
had it
they're
right.
9 and
You had it
they're right.
right.
2019, they're 3-9. Oh yeah. 2020, they're in the Big Ten championship game. Last year, what are they 3-9 again?
They
Or
ended
are
up
they
at 3-9, 3-9
3 and
overall,
9?
1-8 in conference, same as us.
Yeah, they were not a good team last year, but I think they're going to come out better this year for sure. You can't really get much worse. And one thing I'm kind of worried about is, as you said, the week 0, we got a lot of new faces, a lot of new people, a lot of new assistants putting in their new systems. Um, I'm I'm worried that we're not going to have the system totally figured out, but I also think that Nebraska's roster is better than Northwestern's roster. Pat Fitzgerald, I think, is a good coach. It's just, I don't know, it's a little inconsistent with the roster and the team success, but I think Northwestern's going to be better than they were last year. But I still think Nebraska has a better roster than them, and they are my 4th easiest game of the year.
Yeah. So mine is actually going to be Illinois. I've told a lot of people. I mean, I live in Iowa, so you got a lot of Nebraska hate up here. So I got to defend myself up here. So I've told people, the Michigan game, the Minnesota game, the Michigan State game, the Iowa game. I believe that deep down, we should have won those games. That there were a few things that just didn't go right. Illinois game, we deserved to lose. Probably our worst played game of the year. We came out flat. We weren't the team that we saw all year. And yeah, we deserve to lose the Illinois game. That is one game where I was like, all right, like that day, they were the better team. You give me any other of those games, we were the better team, just made stupid, costly mistakes in the wrong areas at the exact wrong time. But I'm going to put Illinois here because I feel like we've, I don't know, fixed our mistakes in this offseason.
You would hope.
Yeah, and that's not a shot at Adrian Martinez. That's not a shot at any coach that left. That's just, I feel like, we got better guys in. And yeah, I think that we're going to come out. That's obviously, like I said, week 0, we came out flat. This game is in the late October, so we're going to be hitting our grind, finally hitting our stride there. I think we can stomp this team, but it's not going to be easy. We got to come out and play. They do have to come to us, so it's going to be hard for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I already talked about Illinois, so I won't spend too much time on them, but excited that it's a home game. My next one is Rutgers. So Rutgers had a decent season last year for Rutgers standards. Not trying to trash on Rutgers there, but they just haven't been very
No,
successful.
yeah, I mean they went up to a bowl game, so
You're right.
you know,
They had 5. I think they had 5 wins, but they got into that bowl game because somebody couldn't play.
mhm.
But I just think Nebraska
Army,
added more talent. So
yeah, for
I think
sure.
I think Nebraska's the better roster. I think we have to go to Rutgers if I'm not mistaken, but
Yep,
I'm not too worried about that. I mean, last
and
time we played
it's changed to Friday night game now, so
yeah. So I mean, Friday night, Nebraska has played well in night games. With the Michigan game last year and the Northwestern game last year. So I just think Nebraska has a better team.
mhm,
And
absolutely.
I think Rutgers just aren't on that level yet. It's hard to say that Nebraska's on that level, but I truly believe that this
Yeah,
year we will be taking another step. So maybe I'm just optimistic, but I believe that Rutgers is the 5th easiest game on our schedule.
yeah, I'm also gonna go Rutgers there. Um, I mean, yeah, they went 5-8 last year, 2-7 conference, but again, still Rutgers. Not a whole lot's changed. You could say they're on the up climb. They're going to be even better next year, maybe get a winning record, but I think they're going to go back down to the depths of the bottom of the trash can in the Big Ten where they belong. So yeah, but it's still Rutgers, and it's probably we got to go to them. So yeah, I'd still say it's tougher than the games I named before, but it's not as tough as the games we're about to name.
Right. Yeah, my next game was Indiana, who we've already talked about. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on them right now. I'll have my prediction when I have my prediction, but my next one is Purdue. Purdue's
Whoa,
hard.
hey, hang on. You skipped one of mine.
Oh, I skipped you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So my next one is actually Northwestern.
Okay.
So I feel like it's hard just because a couple things. Week 0 game, good every other year. Obviously, that wasn't last year. In Ireland, tough place to play. First game, new people. So yeah, I think just circumstances makes it a whole lot tougher than like team versus team itself. Which yeah, I mean, I think that makes it a pretty tough game. And yeah, I think it's gonna be hard, and we're gonna have to definitely play one of our best games to come out on top of that.
Yeah. One thing I didn't really think about is the time change. I don't know what the time change is.
I'm guessing they're gonna
Ireland.
get over
Probably.
there week early, 2 weeks
Oh yeah,
early.
adjust a little bit.
Yeah, get that all
I mean,
adjusted.
yeah, you got that time since it's week
Week 0,
0.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a little. It's a little freshened, but I mean Northwestern has that time as well. So, so yeah, as I was saying, I already talked about Northwestern. They're a little bit farther down my list, but yeah, I still think they could be a tough team to play. My next one is Purdue. Purdue's tough, as I was saying. On one hand, they produce NFL talent every year. You got David Bell this year, George Karlaftis, who's a top or a first round lock. I think they've gone like 4 years in a row with a first round pick or something like that. It's just crazy. But I mean, you got to think it's still Purdue. They beat us last year, but we also had 5 turnovers that game, and we only lost by 5 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's tough. It's tough saying these teams are like below us is kind of what I'm saying. They have a weaker roster, even though they've beaten us. Like they beat us last year. Indiana, last time we played them, I think beat us. Illinois beat us last year, but we're talking like they're the 30 easiest team that we're going to play. Like, I don't know. It's tough. I just really believe that Nebraska has made strides, and maybe I'm, as I said, being too optimistic about that, but I really believe Nebraska is going to take a step, and I think Purdue is a lesser roster, and I just can't wait to predict the schedule. Is what I'm saying. I really want to tell my picks, but I also want to save it. But yeah, Purdue is my, what is that, 6th easiest game or 7th?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
Yeah. So my 7 and 8 are very close.
Mhm.
Honestly, you could just say tied for 7th. But I'm gonna go Minnesota here. Minnesota's lost a little bit. They lost a little to the draft. They lost a little to the transfer portal. It's still PJ Fleck though.
Yep.
The guy's still great. They're still gonna have a great run game. They're still gonna have athletes. They're still gonna have a great defense. But yeah, I mean, I think them and Purdue are pretty even. And I'm going to say Minnesota next year's a little bit easier on us. They come to us again, makes it a little easier on us. And I just think we match up well with them.
Yeah. So I had Minnesota next as well. And as you said, losing some, I mean, you're losing some O line to the draft, losing half their starters on defense, either to the draft or
Mhm.
transfer. But yeah, as you said, still PJ Fleck, one of the best coaches in the Big Ten, maybe the nation. PJ Fleck's a phenomenal coach. One thing I'm super excited about is it's a home game. And
Yeah.
as I've said before, Nebraska fares better at home. It's been shown and shown again, last year, I think some of the away games that we played would have been wins at home, but last year doesn't matter. We're on a new year. So yeah, Minnesota, as you said, still going to be tough, but I have them. I don't even know where I am on my list, but yeah, that was my next team.
Yeah, my next one's Purdue. So just like Caleb said, Purdue's always tough. They beat us last year, but they shouldn't have. You look at the points, you look at how we played. They shouldn't have beat us. We were the better team that day. Just gave up too many errors. Yeah, so that'll be my next one.
Yeah. So my next one is interesting. I have Iowa. I think honestly, Purdue and Minnesota might have better rosters than Iowa every year. But Iowa, it's always going to be a close game.
Mhm.
It makes me so mad to talk about it. I just want to win one. Every single year, I think we're going to win it, and then something happens. And it's like last year was the worst. I think it can't get worse than last year.
Oh, that
I
was
think
terrible. I think
we
us
were at,
being there had. I think that had a
yeah,
big
I
part in
mean,
it.
yeah, we
You
were
just
at the
felt it
game.
was crazy how you felt the energy. You
Oh my
felt the wind,
gosh.
like literally being lifted out of you, like it was going down to hell where it belongs, where Nebraska football last year belonged, because it just ripped me apart.
Yeah, it was tough to watch, man. And I feel like that was it. Like that's as bad as it can get. We're finally gonna win one. I don't know. I don't know.
I think that game is what really sparked in Nebraska. I mean, everyone knew like, wow, this is a problem. Like special teams is a problem. Like, late game offense is a problem. And then you watch that game and you're like, wow, something needs to happen. Something needs to change.
I mean,
This is getting out of hand.
it's bad. I know we're going back pretty far talking about this Iowa game, but um
Oh, it still haunts me. I still lose sleep. I have nightmares.
I mean, like, it's horrible when you feel more confident when Iowa's offense is on the field in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter than when your offense was on the field. It
Yeah.
was rough. But yeah, Iowa's my next team. I think it's going to be obviously super tough, super tough.
Yeah. I put Iowa there too. Personally, roster to roster, I don't even know that Iowa was a top 20 team in the nation last year. Honestly, that team was terrible, terrible in the backfield. They're good on defense. If they could have their defense play the whole game, they might win a bowl game or something. But yeah, you put Spencer Petras out there, and he might fumble the ball, or he might truck it out of bounds, or maybe he'll just punt it on accident. I don't know. And then you put Padilla out there, and he's not much better. Little bit, can't get much worse, but yeah. I hope to God we just curb stomp them in the head, but
Gosh, that'd be so nice. It'd be so nice.
yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be in Kinnick. You've never been in Kinnick, but I can
I
tell you
haven't.
this: you're on top of the players. Uh, you're so close that CJ Beathard's helmet got stolen from a fan. Yeah, off the
That's
bench.
wild.
Yeah, so
Oh
it's
man.
hard to play in there. It's hard to play in there. Penn
Yeah,
State
but it's
couldn't
hard.
do
I
it.
mean, it's hard to play in Memorial too, and
Yeah.
they came back and did it. So
Yep.
I don't want to talk about Iowa anymore.
Yeah. Screw
Next
those
up,
guys. Bad form. Bad
I
form.
got I got Michigan. Um, Michigan won't be the same as they were last year. They're losing a lot. Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, they're star edge rushers, but it's still Michigan. Michigan's always going to be good. But how good, you never know, because they've only had one super successful year, and that was last year when they made the playoff. That didn't end too well. But yeah, it's still Michigan. They're still going to be competitive in every game. And it's in Ann Arbor, I'm pretty sure, because it was at Memorial last year. So that's going to make it even tougher. And that's why it's in my top 3, I think. I think Michigan's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah. My next one's actually Wisconsin. So Wisconsin's coming to Nebraska. We were also at that game. That's when Jonathan Taylor ran a track meet on us. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was also terrible to watch. Ripped that one out of my heart too. But Wisconsin, they're good. They're real good. But is Graham Mertz freshman Graham Mertz that we saw throw 4 touchdowns a game, or is he sophomore Graham Mertz that we saw throw 4 picks a game? I don't know. I think we'll find him somewhere in between, about average. And they got that, he'll be like some 15-year-old running back come out there against
Braylon
us
Allen.
or something. And yeah, he'll probably run all over us, but you know what? We're gonna come back and we're gonna run all over them too with old Yant and Grant and whatever Ant we got.
No, yeah, Wisconsin's my second. Yeah, I have Braylon Allen listed. He's he's so good. And Wisconsin running backs have always fared amazing against Nebraska. Melvin Gordon would probably be talked about a lot more because he broke the rushing record in a game against Nebraska. But luckily for Nebraska fans, a week later, Samaje Perine broke it against KU. So it doesn't get talked about probably as much as it should, which is fine by me. But yeah, Wisconsin's always good against Nebraska. It is a home game, so that's positive. And it may determine some Big Ten title chances, determining
Sure.
on how Wisconsin's doing, how Nebraska's doing. It's gonna be a big game. So I'm really excited for this Wisconsin game. But yeah, I think they're the second toughest team we're gonna play all year.
Yeah, my second toughest is Oklahoma, actually. So Oklahoma comes to Nebraska. If anyone watching this has some tickets they'd like to sell, decently, not crazy expensive, hit me up. Just throw it in the comments or something. I'll get a hold of you. I would love to go to this game. But yeah, they're good, but they're not Oklahoma from last year, and Oklahoma from last year wasn't even that good. They're losing their quarterback, they're losing their coach, they're losing a couple things, but they're still good. But they're going to come to Memorial. They're going to come off. They're going to hit a hopefully super confident hot Nebraska, hopefully a 3-0 hot Nebraska. And yeah, I think it'll be a good one.
Yeah, Oklahoma's my toughest team. They lost pieces. They lost their coach. They lost their quarterback. But it's still Oklahoma. And, Oklahoma's a perennial top 10 team in the nation. It's a home game, though. Oh, my gosh. And the storylines, Casey Thompson last year almost beat Oklahoma at Texas. His dad played quarterback at Oklahoma. Now he's coming to Nebraska, Oklahoma's biggest rival.
His dad got beat by Mickey Joseph. Oklahoma versus.
That's what I'm saying. These storylines are just too good. At Nebraska, Nebraska's coming off a 3-win season. Oh my gosh! I can't wait. I cannot wait for this game. But yeah.
So if anyone wants to sell tickets, again, hit us up.
If you want to sell tickets, put it in the comments. It would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I'm not trying to drop my life savings. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, be reasonable. and we will shout you out 100 times in the video after
I
you
don't care,
after
man.
you do it. I mean, we'll do whatever we have to do. Not whatever we have to do, but reasonably. We'll do we'll do. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'll do for some of those tickets, but
Yeah.
depending on what it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, Oklahoma is my toughest team we're gonna play.
Yeah. Mine is Michigan. So we're going to Ann Arbor, going to the big house, catching Michigan off a huge season. It's late in the year. It's in November. It's going to be cold. It's going to be snowy. It's going to be a hard-nosed football game. It's going to come down to run game and defense. It's going to come down to little things like special teams. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. Honestly, looking at this schedule, I see 2 games that we're going to have to pull something out and be the Nebraska that everyone hopes, not thinks, but hopes we can be to win. Every other game on the schedule, I think we can win. And if we can do it in September and we can do it in November, heck, we might be an undefeated team next year.
No, honestly, like this might be delusional, but looking at this schedule,
put us in the playoff, man.
there's no reason. I mean, there's reason. There's not a game on this schedule that I'm like, there's no chance.
Yeah, like but there's no Ohio State.
Right.
There's no Michigan State. There's no Penn State.
Right. I mean, Oklahoma, Michigan are still amazing, but last year,
you
both teams are. Listen,
you catch those 2 months apart. 2 months apart, we catch those teams.
Yes, both teams are getting worse than they were last year, and we're getting better. And they both only beat us by 1 score.
Yeah.
Like, I told myself I wouldn't get hyped up. You know, you don't want to get hyped up because it's all going to come crashing down once the season starts
and go back to hell where it belongs.
Oh my gosh, but I cannot help it. Nebraska is the Big Ten off-season champs. We had the best off-season of any Big Ten team. I don't know what I'm going to do if we have another heartbreaker like we did last year this season. I love Scott Frost. Look at it. I love Scott Frost. Scott Frost is my guy. But if he has to go, he's got to go. Like,
come on now.
Listen, I love Scott Frost. I think he's going to take us to a Big Ten championship. But I also think if he goes out there this year and wins 5 games, he's gone. Like, he's got to be gone. But that's a topic for
Mark Whipple takes over. Mickey Joseph assistant.
Look, Mark Whipple's not taking over. He's like 70 years old. Mickey Joseph
Purdy
will
takes
take over.
National title. Freaking Grant Yant and who other Ant you got
Grant
out
Yant,
there
Nant and Bant
is gonna freaking run all over Iowa, curb stomp him into Kinnick.
No, let's just move. Let's just move to the Big 12. Win every game.
No. Nope.
Go to the playoff. Get trashed by an SEC team, and we'll be just like Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's the day I become a KU fan.
I can never become a KU fan. I go to KU, and I'm not a KU fan. It annoys a lot of people, but if I lived in Nebraska, I'd be the biggest Nebraska fan on campus. But in-state tuition just looks better, baby. But yeah. Yeah. So that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all for me too.
We'll be back next week with something that we'll figure out. But yeah, thanks for watching. Comment down below if you have Oklahoma tickets, or comment down below your toughest game for the schedule, and our favorite one, will pin it. So yeah, follow us on socials, Instagram, Twitter, our personal Twitters, pretty active on there. Yeah, I think that's it. So until next week. Oh, I forgot to mention, Bennett is sleeping right now. We're recording this very late. So he was really tired. So he's sleeping. That's why he's not here. But yeah, other than that, we'll see you guys in the next one.